Assalamu alaikum dear students. My name is Muhammad Asif, and in this video lecture series we are learning visual programming. Student, this is week number 9 and clip number 2 of lecture number 14. In our previous lecture we have learned about the seal class in C#. That is, what is seal class, and then we have learned about the syntax of the seal class and solved a programming example within the C#.NET framework. Inshallah, in today's lecture, we will be learning about the exception in C#. That is, first, what is exceptions? Second, we will be learning about the syntax, and at the end, we will also implement the programming example within the C#. So now let's see what is exceptions. So exceptions, you can also call it as in during running time errors, during execution time error. It comes during the execution time. Let's see, when executing the C# code, different type of error can occur. One type of error is a syntax error, and the second type of error is a exceptions, or you can say during running time. Syntax error mean during the compilation time the error comes. Let's say the syntax error, the semicolon, you have missed the semicolon, you missed the double quotation, etc. You have mistyped the keywords, etc. And the second type of error is a exceptions, or you can call it the during running time error, during the execution time error occurs. Like you want to divide by 0. Let's say 2 divided by 0. And the answer is infinity. So this type of error is called exception. Or you have just connected a file with your program, but after some time when you run that program, computer try to catch, or you can see it, look for that file you have, the location you have provided, but the file is not present at that location. So it means the file is not found error will come. So this type of error is called exceptions. So now let's see coding error made by the programmer. Errors due to the wrong input or other unforeseeable things. Foreseeable things. When an error occurs, C# will normally stop and generate an error message. The technical term for this is C# will throw an exception, throw an error. In simple words, this is important. Exceptions mean during execution time errors occur, like divide by 0, as I already told you, and the file not found errors. And there are many type of error which occur during the running time. Next, within this exception, we have the following function like a try block, catch block, and the finally block. So first we have learned about the exception. These are the type of errors which comes during the running time of the program. So we will look for the three. If we want to use the exception within the C#, we must have to learn these three blocks. First is a try block, second is a catch block, and the third one is a finally block. Before learning about all these, let me summarize you all these things. Try block is used for where you can expect errors during running time, or you can say the exception errors. So these code statements will be included within the try block. Catch block actually used when within the try block we receive some errors. It throw the errors to the catch block, and catch block will execute, or you can say it, compile those messages, print those messages which occur during the try block, mean which type of error and how it will be handled. So try and catch blocks are very important. And last one, we have a finally block. Finally block use as a third block, which always executed when error occur or not occur. This is very simple. So finally block will always be in execution. So let's see. Let's learn about try and catch block. The try statement allow you to define a block of code to be tested for the error while it is being executed. Or you can say it, if you knew that errors come within these statements or within these codes, so include that lines or statement within the try block. The catch statement allow you to define a block of code to be executed if an error occurs in a try block. So as I already informed you, block is used when there are errors occur within the try block. So it throw these errors to the catch block, and then catch block handle all these errors. Mean the catch block will just print those messages. What type errors are they? The try and catch keywords comes in pairs. Let's say this is the syntax about try block, and this is the syntax about the catch block. So you can see within the bracket we have an exception. This is a class and this is an object. This is the general type of exception, mean any type of error can be handled by the exception. Error mean the exceptions. Consider the following example where we create an array of 3 integers. Let's say this is an example. We have just created the one-dimensional array having my numbers and initialized with the 1, 2, 3. And you can see we are printing my numbers, mean the array of location number 10, and totally we have only 3 locations, which is 0, 1 and 2. So we are try to print the location number 10 value, which is not available. So it means the error will be index was outside the bound of an array. So this type of error is called the exception. So within the try block we will write this code. You can see. So if this error comes, the catch block will be activated and receive this error and show the message, the compiler message, that is index was outside the bound of an array, because we have no 10th location. We have just only 3 locations within the array. In the following example, we use the variable inside the catch block E. E is you can set the object of the exception class together with the built-in messages property. So with the help of E object, we can print those messages. We can set the built-in messages, the compiler messages, which output a message that describe the exception. Again, there is an example. Let's see that within the try block we have integer numbers and console data. So these are the statements which is considered to be, maybe the error comes during the running time. So if you can see, we are printing the location number 10, but location number 10 is not available in our array. So this type of error will come during the running time, and this error will be handled by the catch block with the help of exception class. And you can see we have just printed e.message. So E is the object and message is the compiler message, that what type of error it is. So these are the built-in messages which is stored within the exceptions. So I can say it this is the general type exception class, and the output will be index was outside the bound of an array. So this message is from the compiler. You can also print your own messages. I will inshallah show you within the lab class. You can also output your own error. Let's say we have example, luckily try block, again the same code, array declaration and initialization, then print the location number 10 which is not available, and exception is made, exception is cached during within the cache block, and print a message, our own message. Instead of calling e.message, we are now printing our own message. It is within the quotation, something went wrong within the array. So this is your own errors or own messages for the errors. Something is went wrong. Now we have a third block, which is finally block. The finally statement lets you execute the code after the try catch regardless of the result. So try block, then we have a catch block, and at the end we have finally block. Within the finally block, we have just printed the try catch is finished. It means the error comes or not, this block will always be in execution. If the error comes, doesn't matter, this function, it means this message will be shown. If error does not come within this try block, doesn't matter, the finally block will always be executed. But what for the catch block? When error comes within this try block, catch block will be executed. But if there is no error within the try block, then this catch block will be skipped and finally block will be executed in both cases. Okay, you can see something went wrong and the try catch block is finished. So this is all about the exceptions. That is, what is exception, how it will be used with the help of try, catch and finally block. So if you have any question regarding this topic, you may ask me on my official email address, that is asif@northern.edu.pk. Thank you. Allah.